Hi guys, so I'm going to read showcase number 56. So Showcase presents the Super Team Supreme, Dr. Fate and Hourman. My magic doesn't work on the emotion-controlling masks of the Psycho Pirate. My supercharged powers have no effect on him either. Perils of the Psycho Pirate. The Super Team Supreme, Dr. Fate and Hourman. Out of the distant past comes an old, yet new criminal. As the original Psycho Pirate of years ago attacked the members of the Justice Society of America with emotions, so does this inheritor of that mantle of misapplied psychology turn his powers against Dr. Fate and Hourman. Anger, jealousy, pride, ambition, flood them both as they seek to find a way to overcome the Emir of emotion. I'm going to send you back into retirement, you has-been. When I get through blasting you with my magic, you'll only be a memory. Story by Gardner Fox. Art by Murphy Anderson. Perils of the Psycho Pirate. On a tell in remote Asia Minor, Kent Nelson stands with his pretty wife Inza at a dig. Editor's note. A tell is a large mound.
Whew. It's blazing hot, Kent. Why don't you use your magic to make this digging easier?
I can't do that, honey. I vowed not to use my magical powers for personal gain, and at the moment, I'm working as an archaeologist, not Dr. Fate.
I suppose so. But I'm all tired. I'm tired and all sticky.
A spade breaks through an ancient tomb wall, and Inza forgets her tiredness as, at last, I found them.
The masks of Medusa.
For unguessable centuries, the Medusa masks have lain in golden splendor within an ancient temple. Now mankind has once more found them. These masks are the basis for the old legend that anyone who has gazed on the face of Medusa was turned to stone.
You think that in translation, the word stone was substituted for another?
Right. Just as in the story of Cinderella, the word fair was thought to mean glass, when it actually meant fur. So, turned to stone stood for words that meant overcome with emotions. Soon after, the Nelsons are flying homeward with the precious masks of Medusa. Rex Tyler, who backed our venture, will be delighted at our finds. In celebration, Rex Hourman Tyler, president of the Tyler Chemical Company, hosts a party to display the golden treasures. Kent, I want you and Inza to meet the girl I'm going to marry, Wendy Harris. Soon, with wide eyes, actress Wendy Harris studies the Medusa masks, awed and enchanted.
They're breathtaking.
So enraptured is she that she does not notice a bystander lift a cigarette lighter, and
the mask will do its work as soon as the irradiated gas in my lighter makes contact with it.
As the gas touches the mask, a curious change comes over the face of the actress.
I must own those masks. I've never had such an avid desire for anything in my life.
Greed pictures itself on her lovely features as she yanks the masks off the wall. Wendy, honey, what in the world are you doing?
Nothing must stop me. Nothing.
The mysterious cigarette lighter flares again, and a ripple of laughter runs through the assembled guests. Ha 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 ha! Wendy is sure putting on a show.
What a superb actress! Ha ha ha!
applause rings out as Wendy Harris makes her exit, clinging to the golden masks, as if unable to let them go. "Bravo! Bravo!" Clap, 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 clap. "How about an encore?" In a little while the laughter stops, as men and women stare at one another in dismay. "What made us think that act of Wendy's was so funny?" "I can't imagine. It was as if I were compelled to laugh for some reason." As one, they run out onto the street where... "Wendy, what happened? Where are the masks?" I don't know." Shame and embarrassment flood the actress as... "I could just die. I don't know what possessed me to steal those masks. I was so greedy. And then when I ran out of the building, I saw a beggar and felt such pity for him that I practically shoved the masks into his hands. Here, maybe these will help you get a new start in life." Kent Nelson draws Rex Tyler to one side. "I've a feeling we haven't heard of the last of those masks. We'll go after them, as Dr. Fate and Hourman, just as soon as I take Wendy home." Soon, in a stone tower near the witch-haunted Salem, Kent Nelson dons the blue and gold garb of Dr. Fate. "Strange. My crystal ball is unable to pick up anything about the masks. They must have a magical power of their own, which protects them." At this moment, the masks of Medusa are in the Seacoast Mansion that is the hideout of Roger Hayden, who also calls himself the Psycho Pirate.
"My plan worked perfectly, ingeniously. I stole an invitation to the Tyler party, then used his own fiancée to steal the masks for me. Then I grabbed them from the beggar."
Some months before, Roger Hayden was the cellmate of an old and dying man in the state penitentiary. "I've told you all my psycho pirate secrets, Roger. Taught you all I know of human emotions, their causes and results." Editor's note: The Psycho Pirate first appeared in All-Star Comics number 23, winter issue, 1944.
"Now you shall be the new Psycho Pirate, for I cannot last much longer. In you, my skills shall live on, and through you, I shall gain my revenge on the forces of law and order who imprisoned me."
Soon after Roger Hayden was released from prison, he read about the archaeological finds of the masks of Medusa.
"This is my chance to take advantage of what the original Psycho Pirate told me. He knew the Medusa masks existed. He did research on them and discovered the secret of how to activate them."
In his Seacoast Mansion, the present Emir of Emotion hangs the masks between a number of torches that flood them with a special type of irradiating gases.
"Now for the great experiment."
As he stares up at those aurorite dominoes, the face of the Psycho Pirate undergoes a number of weird changes. One by one, envy, hate, fear, greed, pride, despair, conceit, and other emotions stamp themselves indelibly on his features.
"Now I shall be able to cause others to feel these same emotions by simple gesture of my hand over my face."
Late the following afternoon, just before closing time, Roger Hayden enters a Gotham City bank, and...
I couldn't wear the costume I designed for my use as the psycho-pirate, because I'd attract too much attention. Just as this newspaper is going to do.
His hand moves before his face, and as it drops,
as I release the curiosity mask, I inflict everyone in here with overwhelming curiosity about that discarded newspaper.
A wave of that intense curiosity sweeps across the bank as tellers and officials join customers about the newspaper.
What did the headline say?
I must find out.
I'll go out of my mind unless I know.
His mobsters dash past the grinning Roger Hayden as he stations himself at the bank door.
Go ahead. Do your stuff. Nobody will bother you. They're all too busy to pay any attention. I'll make anyone else going into the bank just as curious.
Only one man in all the world sees what is happening in the bank. Odd. I cannot locate the masks. Yet my crystal ball picks up that man in a bank. Perhaps I'd better investigate, just on the odd chance that he has something to do with them. On the wings of a magic spell, the Wonder Wizard is lifted high through the air and carried toward a bank. I can sense evil emanating from within the vault. It is there I shall direct myself in an astral form. Within the bank vault he forms the solidity from the astral projection by which he passed through solid matter.
Hey, look!
It's Dr. Fate! How'd he get wise to us?
Lunging forward, the Master of Magic shoots out a real-life fist.
Here's where I make a deposit of 5 knuckles. Well, they'll do the most good.
3 guns come out of 3 shoulder holsters.
1, 2, 3 bullets, and he'll be out.
But a single sweep of that blue bolt arm sends the money sacks flying at the gunman.
This is one payoff you didn't expect.
He follows that flying money with a flying fist that does double duty. A pile driver shoulder takes the legs out from under a third mobster. He pivots and brings an uppercut up from the floor tiles. Outside the bank, the long delay makes Roger Hayden nervous.
What's keeping them? They should be out with the loot by now. The spell of the curiosity mask lasts only for a short time.
He enters the vault, and as he sees the stellar sorcerer, his hand lifts to his face.
Dr. Fate, I must do something fast. I'll bombard him with pride.
Immediately, a change of expression comes over the face of the psycho-pirate.
In a moment, Dr. Fate, your pride and your great prowess as a crime fighter will cause you to remember some of the awesome villains you have overcome in the past.
And then his features alter again.
But frustration will so grip you, you will be unable to defeat them as once you did.
As the face of the psycho-pirate mirrors pride and then frustration, so also does the helmet of the Wonder Wizard.
My former enemies, coming back to fight me, together!
From one of those imaginary bubbles, induced by the memory centers of Dr. Fate's brain, leaps a visionary villain.
Wotan!
Yes, I have come back from whence you cast me, to work my evil on you.
As Dr. Fate leaps backward to avoid that lunge, he hurls magical bolts at his foe.
I'll paralyze you with the...
Foolish Dr. Fate! You cannot destroy me. You know in your heart. That's right.
And then, from out of the sunlight brilliance about Wotan's head, emerges
the mage of the Yucatan jungles, Mayor.
With a hideous laugh, the terrible Mayor turns the floor to wet ooze.
This time it is I who shall be victorious.
The very atoms of the floor are gripping me, seeking to drag me down, as if they were quicksand. But the wisdom of the ancient Chaldeans does not desert the Wonder Wizard. My magic seems to have no effect on them. All I can do is save myself by using magic lightning to blast myself upward like a rocket. And then, so abruptly that he gasps with surprise, the stellar sorcerer finds himself alone. What? Why, of course. I only imagined those old enemies of mine. Someone used my momentary lapse to help the bank robbers get away. Perils of the Psycho-Pirate, Part 2. In a locked room deep in the subterranean quarters of the Tyler Chemical Company hangs the dark, grim uniform of Hourman, with a small hourglass on a chain to keep track of his hour of supercharged power. For when Rex Tyler dons that costume and hangs the hourglass about his neck, he changes from president of his company to heroic crime fighter. Miraclo, the amazing chemical taken in the form of a pill, gives him superpowers, but only for 1 hour. To reacquire these great abilities, he must wait another 60 minutes. I must discover why Wendy Harris stole those masks. Because she unaccountably did. She now says she cannot marry me. Somehow, I know it wasn't her fault, and I intend to prove it. Hearing of the robbery at the Gotham City Bank, Hourman races to the financial establishment, only to learn that Dr. Fate was here at the time of the robbery, Hourman. He, touched this newspaper, then set off in pursuit of the robbers. I'll borrow that paper, if I may. With the newspaper and a description of the man who owned it, the 60-minute superhero visits a corner newsstand.
Sure, I remember the guy that bought it, because he came in a red foreign car, a Mercedes Bentley.
Swallowing... Oh, no, also there's some comics. The comics here are kind of like Easter eggs, so there's Flash, Justice League, Green Lantern, and Batman, obviously, the Atom. Yeah, there's some comics there. But swallowing the Miraclo pill, Hourman hurtles into the air. I'll leap high above the city and scan all the streets in the vicinity for that Mercedes Bentley. So it's 3:10 p.m. Upwards he soars as his keen eyes drink in car after car, but there is no sign of the Psycho-Pirate's vehicle. Got to make another jump and keep on until I spot him. 3:18 p.m. Then, outside an open-air art museum's display,
Everyone here except us, thanks to the counter-emotional capsule we all took, is overcome by the emotion, despair. It leaves us in a clear field to clear out this place.
There they are. 3:39 p.m. Dropping like a bomb, he rams both feet into an iron art abstraction, and... So 3:39:01. Roger Hayden quickly recovers his balance and lifts a hand to his face.
I'll put a stop to Hourman with an emotional disturbance.
339.04. Before he can cause a facial changeover, 339.05. He dives through a marble free art form.
He won't be so acrobatic when I bounce this statue off his noggin.
339.10. But the mighty muscles of the TikTok tornado react instantly as it will be a shame to break this priceless piece of statuary, so I'll catch it in flight. 339.11. He sets it down gently. 339.12. Turns a somersault in midair.
Yee, he's like a human cannonball.
Looking for a target. 339.15. And thuds down on the fleeing mobster.
Bullseye!
339.20. The remaining gangsters race for the foreign car, heading for a getaway. 339.24. Which won't get anywhere.
Start the car! Start the car! He's coming fast!
339.27. He lands behind the car, hands starting to grip and hold. Now, boys, if you want to travel. 339.28. Supercharged muscles flex and bulge as Hourman becomes a human Jack. Get a move on!
Yow!
339.30. As the mobsters hit the paving stones with one knockout force, Hourman lowers the car. Now for the man who used that newspaper to cause such great curiosity in the bank. I have a hunch he's the same party who made Wendy steal those masks through greed. 339.40. It is now that the dazed psycho-pirate recovers enough strength to raise his arm, and
he'll nab me, unless...
339.51. Next moment, 339.52. Why, you aren't an enemy. You're my friend, my pal.
You're absolutely right, Hourman.
His own face distorted into a friendly grimace, the man of the hour is forced to forget that the psycho-pirate is a criminal.
Since we're buddies, Hourman, how about giving us a helping hand?
A friend in need is a friend indeed. Just tell me what you want done, chum. And 340.02. At the bidding of the arch-criminal, he lifts a heavy work of art.
Put it in the truck, buddy boy.
Sure thing, friend. 340.20. Then he happily waves farewell as the psycho-pirate and his men drive off with the loot.
So long, pal.
See you again soon, chum. 3:50 p.m. Perils of the Psycho-Pirate, Part 3. Down from the sky swoops the Wonder Wizard to make contact with his fellow crime-buster. And as he calls down to him, the friendly grin of the 60-minute superhero turns to an angry scowl as he realizes he was victimized by their deadly opponent.
Hourman, you helped the thief and his gang get away.
I couldn't help it. Something came over me, just as it did Wendy. So 3:55 p.m.
He had me in his clutches, too. When I snapped out of it back at the bank, I began searching for him by establishing a magical contact with the newspaper he had touched. Just as a bloodhound need only sniff at an object to get its scent. So I needed only touch the newspaper to be able to follow our foe. Though my magic could not follow the masks, it could track down the thief. So I saw you leap into action, and the trick he played on you. I won't interfere yet. I want to learn where he has his hideout, so we can recover his loot.
After he explains, the mystic mage rises into the air, bringing his crime-fighting companion with him.
But we don't know where to find the thief.
Oh, yes we do. Look at the clouds, Hourman. 3:59 p.m. Following a wispy cloud path, the battlers for justice speed towards their destination.
I conjured up those clouds to trail him, using the magic scent I took off his newspaper.
4:03 p.m. Then they drop downward above a sea-coast mansion.
These wizardous drills will slip us inside the house without harming it.
4:09 p.m. They land in a large chamber where...
We're armed and ready for them.
Huh? I thought we were going to have the battle of our lives, but there's nothing to fear here.
Are those odd objects in the crook's hands supposed to be weapons? A knitting needle? A pizza pie? An electric fan? A water pistol? So 4:09:24. Those innocent-looking objects are deadlier weapons than you might suspect, Dr. Fate. For the psychopirate is well prepared for you and Hourman. In his psychological laboratory, he has already donned his garb as the Emir of Emotion. And, right at this moment, he is outside the very chamber in which you stand, hurling a battery of phobias at you both.
I knew it wouldn't be long before they caught up to us. So I'm about to fill them with so many phobias, they'll be too terrified to act.
So 4:09:29. As they hurtled forward, Dr. Fate and Hourman find that the innocent objects are indeed weapons of a diabolical nature.
Yeah! No!
4:09:34.
Dr. Fate suffers from aerophobia, a dread of air currents, while Hourman is affected by hydrophobia, a fear of water.
They turn to flee, only to discover that the pizza pie and the knitting needle are just as alarming.
I'm so afraid. I'm shaking. I gotta get out of here.
4:09:42.
Now Dr. Fate is attacked by cytophobia, a fear of food, while his companion is stricken by alchemophobia, the fear of pointed objects.
As this mortal fear strikes deep into their individual hearts, each crime fighter knows he must strike back or perish. Dr. Fate lifts quivering fingers.
I can do nothing against the objects that cause my fears, but perhaps I can help Hourman.
So 4:09:58. Instantly, the water pistol and the knitting needle are magically transformed.
Huh? Our weapons! Turned into smoke!
Teamwork can help us here. The gang leader didn't reckon on the fact that we could fight against those objects that caused the other to be stricken but with fear.
But even as he springs, the tick-tock thunderbolt realizes that
my hour has passed. I'm a normal human again, without any supercharged powers.
So 4:10 p.m. Yet the grim determination of the crime fighter enables him to land a knockout blow.
I'll have to play act to prevent those thugs from realizing my powers have left me.
4:10:02. The Wonder Wizard leaps to knock out the gangsters, harrying his partner.
While Hourman handles my opponents, I'll take care of his.
Harsh laughter fills the air as the psychopirate touches a hidden control and causes the gold masks to become aglow
I'm not beaten yet. I wanted to give my boys a chance to get even. But in case they failed, I still reserved a trump card to play.
From the glowing Medusa masks, a dozen conflicting emotions slam into Dr. Fate and Hourman. They quiver under a gamut of spine-tingling emotions.
Dr. Fate, I've always been jealous of your magical powers. I'm going to prove my energy-charged abilities are better than your magic.
A jealous rage twists the aureate helmet of the Wonder Wizard as he answers Hourman's attack with a blow of his own.
This is only the starter.
In my book, magic outspells energy power. From jealousy, the masks burn mockery into each crime fighter.
How do you have the gall to appear in public with that ridiculous-looking uniform?
I don't know how you ever had the nerve to take your old uniform out of mothballs. Again they leap and struggle as hate overwhelms them.
I'm going to send you back into retirement, you has-been.
When I get through blasting you with my magic, you'll only be a memory. One after another, the crime fighters suffer the emotions of the Medusa masks, until they become exhausted, worn out by their awesome experiences.
At last, you are utterly helpless. The strength has been drained out of you by the emotional wringer I have put you through.
Taunting his opponents, the psycho-pirate rams a fist against Hourman's jaw.
I don't need any hocus-pocus powers to knock you out. Those masks rouse up your emotions by an electrical stimulation of the body's emotional control centers, the hypothalamus and the septal region of the human brain. Neurophysiologists have already proven this to be a scientific fact.
Editor's note. By the experiments of Dr. C.W. Sem Jacobson of Norway, of Dr. Robert G. Heath of the Tulane University, and Dr. Jose M. DeGaldo of Yale. He drives an uppercut against the jaw of Dr. Fate.
This is no magic illusion striking you, Dr. Fate.
But, to the intense stupefaction of the Emir of Emotions, the Wonder Wizard returns his blow.
Huh? You are not affected by the golden masks.
Enraged, the psycho-pirate slugs his magical foe again.
Incredible. You couldn't have known how to counteract those masks.
He isn't the only one who knows the hypothalamus and the septal region of the brain control emotions. The harder the psycho-pirate hits, the harder Dr. Fate strikes back, until I was utterly without emotion, but my body was capable of reflex action. When he hit me, my body responded automatically, just the way a dazed prize fighter does against his opponent. To prevent him from using his eerie powers, I'll put a magic mask over his face, so he'll never affect anyone again. When Hourman comes to, and Dr. Fate explains what has happened,
Ooh, you took a chance battling me and my supercharged powers. Suppose I had still retained them.
Oh, I knew you weren't under the effects of the Miraclo pill anymore. I saw the sands of your hourglass had run out. I knew you were your normal self, so I pulled my punches in my fight with you.
I see. You acted out a part just as I did when fighting those mobsters, after I realized my powers had left me.
I took my acting cues from you
when the masks hurled you into an emotional spasm. Since I didn't feel any emotions, I had to fake the emotions you were feeling. When I fought our foe, I was unable to use magic, because I need my emotional forces to operate it. So I had to depend solely on my reflex actions. When the gang leader was knocked out, I automatically recovered my powers. The masked psycho-pirate is put behind jail bars, and a joyful reunion takes place between Rex Tyler and Wendy Harris. Honey, now that your name is being cleared, and you've agreed to marry me, it's only fair that you should know I've been leading a double life. I am also Hourman. It's true, Wendy. All I care about, really, is that you're going to be my husband, 24 hours a day. And that's the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.